It's a friendly old place. We're happy to play. Missing sunshine, so free and wild. Dreams of life, welcome to Disney's wonderful world. Welcome to Disney's wonderful world.
The most exciting, the most important part of our Florida project, in fact, the heart of everything we'll be doing in Disney World will be our experimental prototype city of tomorrow. We call it Epcot, spelled E-P-C-O-T, Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow. Here it is in larger scale. Epcot will take its cue from the new ideas and new technologies that are now emerging from the creative centers of American industry. It will be a community of tomorrow that will never be completed, but will always be introducing and testing and demonstrating new materials and new systems. And Epcot will always be a showcase to the world for the ingenuity and imagination of American free enterprise. I don't believe there's a challenge anywhere in the world that's more important to people everywhere than finding solutions to the problems of our cities. But where do we begin? How do we start answering this great challenge? Well, we're convinced we must start with the public need. And the need is not just for curing the old ills of old cities. We think the need is for starting from scratch on virgin land and building a special kind of new community. So that's what Epcot is, an experimental prototype community that will always be in a state of becoming. It will never cease to be a living blueprint of the future, where people actually live a life they can't find anywhere else in the world. Everything in Epcot will be dedicated to the happiness of the people who will live, work, and play here, and those who come here from all around the world to visit our living showcase. We don't presume to know all the answers. In fact, we're counting on the cooperation of American industry to provide their very best thinking during the planning and the creation of our experimental prototype community of tomorrow. And most important of all, when Epcot has become a reality and we find the need for technologies that don't even exist today, it's our hope that Epcot will stimulate American industry to develop new solutions that will meet the needs of people expressed right here in this experimental community.
Disney designers are at work on an unusual new concept to further develop Walt Disney World. World Showcase, a permanent exposition to advance international cooperation and understanding. Nations will share with each other their culture, history, and future goals in permanent pavilions. It will be the first step in the development of the late Walt Disney's plan for an experimental prototype community of tomorrow.
This morning, in what could be interpreted as a response to the President's call for more vision, Disney Productions made an announcement that will have a major impact on the state of Florida and perhaps on the rest of the world. The plan is called Epcot, Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow. At a cost of $1.5 billion, it will be located about 2 miles south of the current resort facilities and will be connected to it by a monorail. There will be 2 major theme areas. One will be called Future World. It will dramatize the challenges of tomorrow, such as energy, transportation, the land, seas, space, life, and health. There will also be a global marketplace featuring new technologies. Already, General Motors, Kraft Foods, Exxon, and AT&T have said they will participate with Disney in Future World. The second part is called World Showcase. It will be the first permanent international exposition focusing on cultures and traditions of other lands. So far, 10 nations, including Israel, Japan, Germany, the United Kingdom, Italy, France, and the United Arab Emirates, will have exhibitions. Governor Askew says Epcot will be internationally significant.
So what you're going to have young people who are going to get to know each other through private enterprise, not government-sponsored, hopefully with a minimized political tensions, to learn to know each other, and then they're going to go out and form potential cadres of leadership throughout the entire world. And second, in Epcot, Disney is going to be able to produce some of the most complicated yet basic lessons in human history that people can understand.
Walt Disney dreamed of a showplace for the concepts of tomorrow that would never be completed, but always introducing, testing, and demonstrating new ideas, new materials, and new systems. A center for the communication of new concepts that would always be in the state of becoming, giving voice to an optimistic future and confidence in the ingenuity and imagination of free enterprising men and women.
When completed in 1982, Epcot is expected to be twice the size of Disney World today, and it will attract 8 to 10 million visitors alone. The Magic Kingdom drew 14 million last year. It will also give tourists another reason not to come to South Florida. Ike Siemens, Channel 4 News at Disney World.
I'm Card Walker, president of Walt Disney Productions, and I'd like to answer a question that's been asked many times about Epcot. Why is Disney getting into so many things that are apparently unrelated to the entertainment industry? What can Disney possibly contribute?
Epcot will be a community of ideas, a public forum for information transfer about emerging new technologies, prototype systems, and promising new concepts. 4 major objectives were established in order to bring this unique community to reality. First, Epcot will be a showcase for prototype concepts. Special legislation passed by the state of Florida in 1967 helped to establish the Epcot Building Code, considered one of the most advanced in the nation, to govern planning, design, and construction. This far-reaching code has enabled innovative building materials and systems to be applied from the very beginning, thus laying a strong foundation for Epcot as a showcase for prototype concepts. Even from the outside, the Energy Pavilion will be a strong visual statement as it generates power via its own solar energy systems. Here, the formation of fossil fuel energy will be portrayed. The Transportation Pavilion will show how man has progressed through time in direct relation to his ability to move from one location to another. Visitors will see man's earliest and most humble designs grow and change as he reaches out to explore the world around him. They'll be treated to simulated trips aboard some of today's modes of transportation and have a glimpse at future transportation systems. Here, guests sail through moments of peril and triumph with the great explorers who charted the seas for civilization. In another adventure, Poseidon the Sea Lord will challenge visitors to journey through the ocean depths and space, where a vast interstellar space vehicle will transport passengers to the outer frontiers of the universe. Through these future world pavilions, millions of visitors will learn firsthand about what's being done in creative centers around the world. Another key element of information transfer will be Future World's Communicore. As its name suggests, this global marketplace of new ideas will be the communications core of Epcot.
To make today's dreams for Epcot tomorrow's reality for everyone.
Good evening, I'm Carol Nelson. Welcome to the October edition of Eyewitness Magazine. The largest single project in Central Florida's future is the construction of Epcot. It will nearly double the number of tourists coming to Florida, and it will create thousands of new jobs. But more than that, Epcot will be the window on the world of tomorrow, through which people will not only be able to see the future, but they'll be able to touch it. It will be the gathering place of nations where the cultures of the world will be shared. And it's going to be the first step in a long journey of growth here in Central Florida. Bob Upsall takes a close look inside Epcot, Walt Disney's experimental prototype community of tomorrow.
Walt Disney World, the Magic Kingdom, has welcomed 90 million visitors since it opened in 1971. More than any other single event, Disney's introduction to Florida has made Orlando the #1 tourist destination of the world. The predicted cost of the theme park at the outset was in the neighborhood of $100 million. It actually cost in excess of $700 million. In 1965, when Walt Disney announced the project in an Orlando press conference, he also talked about some plans even further in the future. An optimistic dream he had for a showcase that would be more advanced than Tomorrowland, that would gather together the dreamers and doers from around the world to try to solve international problems in an atmosphere of progressive optimism and mutual trust. His idea was that if creative solutions could be communicated to people in ways they understand and believe, the decisions they make would provide all of us a better world. He called his idea Epcot, the experimental prototype community of tomorrow. And now that dream is about to come true. It will be the largest individual project ever undertaken by the Disney organization and will cost in excess of $500 million. It is designed to be what Walt himself had envisioned, the public's interface with tomorrow.
Well, the whole idea of the project is one of giving people a better knowledge of the needs of mankind. As you can see here with our model, we're going to be telling the story of energy and of space and of the land and of the environment and of life and of health, and we hope that we can tell them in a meaningful way so people will have a better understanding of them and hopefully because of that live longer and live a better life.
If it were life-size, this model would cover about 600 acres. Now we're facing the south here, so you're going to have to mentally spin it around 180 degrees to be able to see where it's located on the map in relation to Disney World. Now this is US 192, and this is the main access road that leads north to Disney World. The present skyline of that 600 acres is nothing but oak, pine, and palm tree tops, broken only by a few fields and small streams. 4 years from now, it will be quite a different sight. Now, to handle the increased traffic flow, they're going to be installing a new interchange on I-4 with roads that lead directly to the Epcot Center. That interchange would be paid for by the state, but all the other roads would be built by Disney. Impact on Central Florida, besides increased traffic, will include 8,000 to 10,000 new jobs during the construction phase, and another 6,000 to 8,000 permanent jobs upon completion. Thousands more support-type jobs will have to open up in the surrounding communities to handle those increases, and as a result, more housing and schools will be needed, along with all the other things that go with growth. But let's get back to Epcot and take a look at just what it will contain. The experimental community will be divided into two major areas: the World Showcase, where many nations will be able to present their cultures, commerce, and architecture, and Future World, which will present the challenges and alternatives man will have to face. The Gold Dome contains the theme exhibit of Future World. It is called Spaceship Earth and is designed as a ride through time, beginning with man's struggle to survive in a cave and proceeding through the centuries to the present and beyond. In this display, we, as the crew of our planet-sized vehicle, are to understand that if we can continue to have access to accurate and relevant information, we and our spaceship will continue to survive on our elliptical cruise through the solar system. Parts of Future World will be presented by private enterprises, such as Kraft Corporation's The Land. Here, guests will board boats and will travel through experimental environments of real plant life using advanced techniques that show possible solutions to the world's food problems. The focus here is on the Earth as a garden, to be cultivated for man's most beneficial use. The Seas exhibit will take guests through an underwater world where they will experience an authentic ocean environment in a huge aquarium which contains live marine life sustained by man-made saltwater. Seabase Alpha will be an undersea restaurant in which diners will be surrounded by many tons of water teeming with life. In the Life and Health Pavilion, Visitors will be treated to an incredible journey through the human body, hopefully to gain a new awareness and appreciation of themselves. It is a celebration of life from birth to the golden years that involves the guests in the lesson that good health is based on personal responsibility and behavior. The Energy Pavilion, presented by Exxon, even from the outside, presents a strong visual statement as it generates power for its own use with a solar energy roof system. Inside, guests will ride through the development of fossil fuels, man's handling of past energy crises, and the race against the clock to find new energy sources for the future. Another ride awaits the visitors to the Space Exhibit. This one is really out of this world and gives visitors the sensation of leaving the Earth in an interstellar vehicle and traveling into deep space, complete with the feeling of zero gravity during the flight. At the crossroads of Future World is the Communicore, which the Disney people are calling the Main Street of Tomorrow. It will be a marketplace of ideas where the public will get a hands-on opportunity to sample the products and concepts of the future. It is the least structured of all the exhibits and will be the most flexible when it's built. And true to the Disney tradition of planning, this and all the other exhibits will handle and communicate with in excess of 3,000 people per hour. The World Showcase comprises the southern half of Epcot Center, where already a dozen countries have committed to building pavilions that will stand side by side with equal access so that visitors may discover the culture, traditions, and accomplishments of those countries. Only 200 of the available 600 acres of land will be covered by the Epcot Center, so there is still plenty of room to grow, and the feeling is that it will. But will Disney and Central Florida have the boom-bust cycle that the Space Coast suffered through?
You see, the base in Florida has broadened so tremendously since those times, and there's a diversification of industry and business and economic activity here, which is only going to build. And the development that's sure to come is going to be much more orderly and much more easily absorbed because of that. As we approach this next great phase of Walt Disney World, we do it with reaffirmed confidence in the future of our company and in the future of this project, and also in the future of Central Florida and the whole state of Florida, because it's all intertwined. It's all part of one thing.
But even with all that optimism, how in the world does a corporation raise an unfathomable sum like $500 million?
Well, there were times when I lost a little sleep about that, but I don't anymore, because fortunately we have it in hand.
Mr. Tatum is confident in the ability and future of the Disney company, and that confidence has its roots planted in the corporate namesake. Even in 1965, Walt Disney had no qualms about money.
It's going to be well over 100 million plus, at least. But my big brother says we can do it. He's the money man.
Walt's Magic Kingdom has already delighted tens of millions of people. Now his dream of Epcot is about to become a reality. And as you may have noticed, it will not be just another theme park.
Its importance lies in the fact that it has become, fortunately, through the support of the public, a focal point. A place that's known all around the world as a place where people can come and gain some kind of beneficial experience, whether it be just sheer entertainment or the broader form of recreation and relaxation, or an overlay of education and perhaps even some inspiration.
The Magic Kingdom itself, over the past 7 years, has not only inspired us, but it has changed our lives. The next 7, with Epcot, will probably change our lives even more. And whether we're ready or not, the future is just around the corner. We can only hope that our plans will keep pace with our progress.
World of peace, a world of love, with happiness in every heart. That's what we're dreaming of. Dreams of the future, we'll make them come true. The future belongs to the dreamer inside of you. Dreams of the future, all shiny and new. If you see through the eyes of a dreamer, the future belongs to you.
One of history's greatest dreamers was Walt Disney, whose vivid imagination helped him to become the leading pioneer and innovator in the world of show business. Still, he looked far beyond his lifetime to the creation of a showplace that could point the way to exciting and achievable new directions in future living. He called his dream Epcot, Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow. By the middle 1960s, the Disney organization acquired more than 27,000 acres of land in the center of Florida to build Walt Disney's last and greatest dream. On October 1st, 1971, the first phase of Walt Disney World opened to the public. Almost immediately, it became the #1 vacation destination in the world. Nearly 140 million visitors have come here from all 50 states and more than 100 nations. From the very beginning, the Epcot dedication to innovative technologies has been a part of the Walt Disney World Master Plan. Advanced new electric-powered monorail trains and linear induction-powered people movers already demonstrate potential new transportation systems. Other Community of Tomorrow technologies include a central energy plant solar project, the world's first use of steel modular construction at the hotels, a unique network of underground crisscrossing utilidors, computer-controlled fire, safety, and energy systems, the world's first 100% electronic phone system, and the use of once pesky water hyacinths for treating of wastewater and creating methane gas for energy. And so, with Epcot's foundation already established, the Disney organization is now rapidly moving ahead with the creation of Epcot Center. Your journey to tomorrow begins with Spaceship Earth. Towering nearly 17 stories above future world, this mammoth geosphere is the first structure of its kind anywhere in the world. Inside, you'll board a unique time machine and spiral deep into the past in search of clues to our survival through the ages and how they'll help us chart the course of our own future on this, our Spaceship Earth. The land will be your gateway to the major geographic regions of the Earth. Here you'll discover the promise and potential that remarkable new agricultural methods are already bringing to food production, including a look at plants which have learned to grow without soil.
The earth and man can be good friends. Let's listen so our harvest time will never end.
In this dramatic building, the universe of energy awaits you. Its solar-paneled roof will help power your traveling theater cars. A ride on sunshine that'll bring you face to face with immense creatures of the primeval world, where the formation of our fossil fuels took place. Then, on a spectacular wraparound screen, you'll explore emerging new energy systems that may help power our world in the future.
Feel the flow, here we go, through the universe of energy, from the seas to the skies, there's a force beyond our eyes. We all have sparks, imagination, that's how our minds create creations. Oh, they can make our wildest dreams come true. These little sparks in me and you.
Dreams, fantasies, creativity. That's your journey into imagination, into the boundless realms of the arts, literature, science, and film. Just imagine a visit to a place where you can visualize anything your mind can fantasize.
A dream can be a dream come true.
Another kind of journey will take you into the world of motion. where a whimsical series of audio animatronic scenes will show that the story of transportation is indeed a moving experience.
To be free, to wander and roam, to go where you please, to travel with ease, to do all there is to be done. It's fun to be free.
But what about the future? Trans Center will give you an over-the-shoulder look at new designs and technologies for tomorrow's world of motion. Here, you'll reach for new horizons, a spectacular odyssey into the future, where you'll discover the envisioned technologies of the 21st century and beyond. Here, you'll visit a city of tomorrow, desert farm, space colony, and undersea city.
For the whole human race, there is time, there is space, as we reach for new horizons.
How would you like to venture into the living seas, yet stay safe and dry? In Sea Base Alpha, you'll do just that, and still be able to explore the wonders of our aquatic frontier. A futuristic research station beneath the waters of the largest saltwater tank environment in the world. At the hub of Future World is Communicore, Epcot's community core. Here is your own close encounter with the future, where you can personally participate in a wide range of hands-on activities that may soon apply to your own daily living. Epcot Computers Central will focus on the role computers play in serving your everyday needs. Future Choice Theater will enable you to express your opinions on important issues of today and tomorrow. Other Communicore attractions will enable you to further explore the worlds of energy, communications, space, and many more concepts from the day after tomorrow. Yes, if dreaming is what the American adventure is all about, then so is doing. That's what's happening today. Walt Disney built a staff of doers. And today, his greatest dream, Epcot Center, is indeed becoming reality. And no matter where you go in Future World or World Showcase, it'll be an experience unlike anything you've ever imagined, except perhaps in your wildest dreams.
Epcot. It will never cease to be a living blueprint of the future.
It began as one man's dream about tomorrow.
Well, my greatest reward, I think, is to have the public appreciate and accept what I've done all these years.
In a plan to build the dream. Lord, how it grew.
Epcot, an experimental prototype community that will always be in a state of becoming.
In a team to make it real, to build a world of stone, a world of steel. It began as one man's dream.
It's our hope to develop new solutions.
Together as a team, we're making one man's dream.
And I think it's going to be a great moment.
Come true.
Whistle while you work. Put on that grin and start right into whistle loud and long.
Hi-ho, it's off to work we go.
Just hum a merry tune. Just do your best and take a rest and sing yourself a song.
With a hi-ho,
there's too much to do. Don't let it bother you. Forget your troubles, try to be just like a cheerful chickadee. And whistle while you work. Come on, get smart, tune up and start to whistle while you work.
All right. I know a lot of you out there are saying, who is that guy? What is whoever he is doing wherever he is? Well, I'm Michael Landon, and I'm at Orlando, Florida, where Walt Disney World is located. This doesn't look like the Disney World you know? You're right. I'm standing at an incredible new project called Epcot Center. Now you're saying, what's that? Well, Epcot stands for Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow. Quite a mouthful, huh? Believe me, it is quite a mouthful. $800 million worth of mouthful. Epcot Center is the realization of Walt Disney's dream to recreate the past, understand the present, and probe the future. And on October 1st, 1982, after more than 2 decades of planning and 2 years of construction, the gates will open on that dream. Here's the spaceship Earth, where we'll board a time machine and journey through thousands of years of history into tomorrow. And right over there, Communicore, the center of it all, where we'll see and touch the future. And this will be New Horizons, 21st century living on the land, under the sea, and in outer space. This is the journey into imagination, where you'll star in a special effects video demonstration and explore the frontiers of your own mind. And here, the world of motion. Sit back, relax, and have fun riding through a moving experience. The land, a floating excursion through the incredible bounty of tomorrow's harvest. The universe of energy, 80,000 solar cells on this roof will enable us to ride on sunshine. And this will be the World Showcase, a community of nations brought together by the American adventure. Over there, Mexico. There, Canada. Germany. The United Kingdom. Italy. Japan. France. China. And that's only the beginning. There are over 27,000 acres to play with. When Walt Disney dreamed, he dreamed.
Ladies and gentlemen, Walt Disney, one man's dream. With your host, Michael Landon. With guest stars, Mac Davis, Marie Osmond, Carl Reiner, Dick Van Dyke, Ben Vereen, and Disney Film Classics, Donald's Dream Voice, The Three Little Pigs, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Fantasia, and special appearances by Julie Andrews, Mikhail Baryshnikov, Walter Cronkite, Buckminster Fuller, Beverly Sills, Andy Warhol, with Christian Hoff as young Walt Disney, and Charles Aidman as Mark Twain.
This universality of Disney carries on after his death in the projects that he had put on the drawing board before he died. The Epcot Center in Florida is a case in point, bringing together representatives of international industry, international commerce, the governments from other countries, political organizations, in a permanent World's Fair. Carries on that theme of his that we are indeed one people.
Epcot Center, the most ambitious and costly dream Walt Disney ever had.
800 million? $800 million?
So Walt got another no, a very emphatic no. And what did he have to say about it?
I don't believe there's a challenge anywhere in the world that's more important to people everywhere than finding solutions to the problems of the future.
Naturally, he was off and running. And this is what it's going to look like. Even his models are a work of art. Look, the people in there already. Now, let's imagine we're with them, seeing Epcot Center for the first time.
After 15 years of planning and dreaming, Walt Disney's greatest dream, Epcot Center, is at last becoming a reality.
The only people I see who are successful at changing the world are right here at Disney. People with very special dreams.
Famed science fiction writer Ray Bradbury relates the Disney Imagineers and the Epcot project to the Renaissance age. Epcot Center, the experimental prototype community of tomorrow, will open at Walt Disney World on October 1st, 1982.
I'm seeing work here commensurate with many of the things that I saw in Renaissance Italy when I visited there for the first time.
Epcot Center will be a showcase to the world for the innovations of tomorrow and the nations of today.
240 performers are going through final rehearsals, polishing new shows developed for Epcot Center. Merchandise from around the world has been stocked in 33 different shops, while chefs newly arrived from Europe test kitchens and train assistants.
Let's take a look at the story behind Spaceship Earth.
We knew we wanted to have an information and communications theme, but that's about where we were when we decided to bring Ray Bradbury in to work with us. And Ray did some very brilliant writing of a very broad concept, which became the underpinning for everything we have done in Spaceship Earth.
You know, one of the great pleasures I had 18, 19, 20 years ago is going out to Disney Studios and having lunch with Uncle Walt. I was a member of the Mickey Mouse Club when I was 12 in the Fox Theater over in Tucson, Arizona, and to sit with Walt and talk about the future was fantastic. And one day he said to me, you know, the horrible thing about World's Fairs is what? And I said, the horrible thing is the year after they open, they tear everything down. He said, well, I would like to build a permanent World's Fair, and I hope someday you'll have something to do with it. I said, my God, I can hardly wait to be hired. And finally, 3 or 4 years ago, the Epcot people came by and said, remember what Walt said? Well, we're going to build a permanent World's Fair and occasionally tear down the ideas inside the walls. That makes great sense, doesn't it? So the wonderful thing about the Epcot Center to me and Spaceship Earth and everything surrounding it is that you have a permanent World's Fair. You have a chance of influencing generations of children.
of Epcot Center. Yeah. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our Chairman of the Board and Chief Executive Officer, Card Walker. Nice to see you.
Well, I think this is probably by far the most exciting day in my whole career with this wonderful company, Walt Disney Productions. In March, I'll have been here 45 years, and I've seen a lot of things happen, but I think this is in first place in my mind and in my heart. Good morning, Governor Graham, Bill Ellinghouse, all our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and particularly the boys and girls. We're naturally delighted to see you all here this morning. This is a very special project for our company, and one we're very proud of, and one that I think is going to develop tremendous word of mouth because it's an exciting show. We broke ground on this exact site here, right here where I'm standing, 3 years ago today at 9 a.m. in the morning. And I promised then that our doors would open this morning as scheduled at 8:58, and I think we missed it by 2 minutes, didn't we, Dick? That accomplishment, I think, is an enormous tribute to American ingenuity, productivity, and technology. It is another demonstration of what can be done, I think, in America today with free enterprise. Epcot Center represents the culmination of more than 25 million hours of effort by talented artists, designers, engineers, and technicians, with hundreds of advisors and thousands of construction workers, all propelled by the power and the force of an idea of one wonderful man, Walt Disney. Epcot Center, thank you. Epcot Center celebrates human achievements and innovation born from imagination. It is a showplace dedicated to entertain, we hope, with a purpose. Our goals for Epcot Center are quite clear. We want to first entertain, then inform and inspire all who come here, and above all, to instill in our guests a new sense of belief and pride in mankind's ability to shape a world that offers real hope to people everywhere in the world. Thank you.
And now we celebrate the opening day of Epcot Center, and we proudly dedicate the Bell Systems Spaceship Earth.
There's a guy you light up inside and it starts to speak. Just close your eyes and dream of things to come. The dreams we make tomorrow, we've just begun. We've just begun. We've just begun. Open your mind, a fantasy time. Open your eyes to find a brand new world, a shining star. A new creation. It's all about you. A celebration. A celebration. A new sensation. It will astound you. A celebration. A celebration. An inspiration. A fascination. A celebration. A celebration. A celebration. A man nation's imagination. Celebrate as we create a new tomorrow. Celebrate the dream of space. A new tomorrow. The world awaits, celebrates a new creation. Celebrate, celebrate imagination. We've just begun. We've just begun to dream.
We have just begun on this first day of October 1982. Welcome to Epcot Center, and congratulations to the Bell System on the dedication of Spaceship Earth.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a party. In spite of the weather, we want to welcome you. It's not really a party, it's more a celebration, a dedication, a festival, an event, also a monumental achievement all rolled into one. And it's also a party. I'm Danny Kaye, and I'm speaking to you live and wet from Epcot Center. This is the realization of Walt Disney's dream to create a permanent showcase of technology and world culture. It's a living monument to past achievements and a testament to the hopes of the future. A future where the quality of life for all people will be improved. It's with this spirit in mind that I'd like you all to share with me the wonder and the excitement of this truly remarkable place. Why don't you come with me as we look forward to the dawning of the 21st century. 21st century's here. It's time for the dream to come true. this glorious figment of one man's imagination. It started a long time ago, continued to flower and grow. From the marvelous mind of that magical man, now the theme of the dream and the fabulous plan are born and just busting to get underway. And the 21st century begins today. The 21st century's now. There's history happening here. Before you, you see how the dream reached its culmination. The most thrilling sight one could see, with visions of things yet to be. A brilliant design of incredible scope, constructed of miracles, magic, and hope, and a new kind of joy for this weary old sphere. And the 21st century begins right here. This world of wonders will astound you with fantasies that you can touch and feel. The world of Epcot's all around you, but it's no fantasy. No fantasy. It's all alive and real. Epcot, the magnificent dream realized. But maybe you're asking yourselves, well, what's an Epcot? Well, that's a good question. Is it just another amusement park? No. Number one, Epcot is the experimental prototype community of tomorrow. And number two, Epcot isn't just an anything. Oh, no. It isn't just a resort. It isn't just a World's Fair, not just a cavalcade of wizardry, technology, and flair. It's not just Epicurean displays by international gourmets where one can dine, lunch, munch, crunch for days and days and days. Not just a festival of music, dance, the arts, or education, nor a pageant for the senses sparked by wild imagination. Not just communication, nor the bounty of the land. Not just the world of motion, nor the ocean or the sand. It's not just transportation, nor light or sight or sound. Not just satellites in space, nor the fossils underground. Where Epcot is concerned, there ain't no justs about it. Epcot isn't just an anything, it's everything and more. A great deal more than anything the world has seen before. The perfect planned community, the splendorific sprawl. And Epcot Center is the heart of it all. Just so there's no confusion, Epcot Center is located in the center of Epcot. And Epcot Center is made up of two parts, which is Future World and the World Showcase. It's 2.5 miles from the Magic Kingdom, which is also part of Epcot, which is what the entire 27,000-acre area known as the Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow, or Epcot, or Walt Disney World is called. Just so there's no confusion. I hear 1,000 voices loud and strong. Magnificence is still anticipated here. And if we seem more than delighted and elated here, it's because Disney people know how to present the 21st century. Hooray for the 21st century! The 21st century begins right
Center, the opening celebration, with your host, Danny Kaye, and guests, Drew Barrymore, Roy Clark, Alex Haley, Marie Osmond, Eric Severai, Alan Shepard, Dreamfinder and Figment, Zico and Smart One, the West Point Glee Club, and the All-American College Marching Band.
Hi.
Hi. Hi. Do you know who that was?
Alan Shepard, one of the first astronauts and a national hero.
That's very good. Now, do you know who I am?
Danny Kaye, one of the first comedians and a national treasure.
I think I'll have to buy her a present for that. Now, this is Drew Barrymore, one of the first actresses to meet E.T. personally and a national delight. Now, I hope you've got comfortable shoes on because I'm going to take you on a real long journey.
Where are we going?
Well, we're going out into the past and the future, past those walls into the land of energy and motion and communication, covering thousands of years of progress.
Maybe I should bring a snack.
I think if you just bring your curiosity, that'll be enough. This is the gateway to future world. It's the world of tomorrow, today. And that world awaits through those magic gates.
What's so special about the future?
Well, you see, the future contains all the hopes and the dreams of the past and the present. It's really quite wonderful.
Well, how do you know? You've never been to the future.
Well, of course I have. Don't you remember yesterday I was saying to you that tomorrow we might go to Future World?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Yes, of course. Well, today is the tomorrow I was talking about yesterday. And tomorrow, yesterday, will be today. And I got to the future from the past when the past became the present, which is now. You get it?
Got it.
Good. Did you explain it to me? But all the future starts with the past. And they're both contained inside those walls right there.
I diddly-dee, an actor's life for me. Hello, humans. Greetings. I diddly-dee.
Seiko, I'd like you to meet a friend of mine. Say hello to Mr. Danny Kaye.
Master Kaye, this is indeed an honor.
Yes. Well, no, the honor is all mine. May I ask you a question?
Proceed.
Do you live around here? I mean, in...
Negative, Master Kaye. I'm just a visitor like yourself.
I
but
see.
I do have relatives living in Communicore and an Imagination Pavilion and in some very high places.
Well, that sounds like a very good neighborhood.
That is correct. You might say I'm a computer chip of the old block.
Well, where do you come from originally?
I come from somebody's imagination, where all wonderful and incredibly fantastic things come from.
He hasn't been programmed for modesty.
I think you're absolutely right. Somebody was telling me that about a character named Dreamfinder who lives in the Imagination Pavilion.
That is correct, Master Kaye.
And he is the latest creation, I hear, and a real expert on the subject of creativity. You suppose I could meet him?
Your wish is my command, Master Kaye. Dreamfinder, this is Master Kaye and Drew. Drew and Master Kaye, meet the keeper of the sparks of imagination, Dreamfinder.
It's nice to meet you. And this is my assistant and good right arm, Figment.
I understand you're in charge of some very creative things. I would think that would be terribly interesting.
Right you are, for right in there, imagination's everywhere. The visions once inside your head exist inside that place instead. Imagination is my game, the sparks of which ignite the flame of your own creativity. And that's real great for you and me.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Want to go inside?
I sure do.
Then follow her. When it comes to imagination, a child shall lead them.
Come on, kid, and don't get lost or lag behind. And try not to leave your gum wrappers all over the place.
Yes, ma'am, I promise. Come on.
Step into the future in Epcot Center's newest adventure. Step into the future in Horizons. Step into the future today.
Now, let's cross the World Showcase Lagoon to the American Adventure. With architecture and furnishings that reflect early American styles and a hall displaying historic flags of the nation, this is the setting for a drama played out on the largest rear projection screen ever built and a Broadway-sized stage. The cast includes dozens of audio animatronics figures, with Ben Franklin and Mark Twain serving as hosts.
I shan't spend another night up here. At least you got shoes made of all of us, maybe.
Special moments in time, drawn from 350 years of American history, capture the spirit of the nation and pay tribute to its people, whether they be great leaders or ordinary men and women.
'Tis easy to see, hard to foresee, but I foresee the American adventure to continue a long, long time.
From the American adventure to the adventure of traveling the world. Italy, for example, to enjoy the ambience of Venice. A classical fountain. The fun of street theater. Lunch in a popular Roman restaurant. From Italy to Germany. And the joyful exuberance of a Bavarian beer garden. Come sing, come dance, for here it's Oktoberfest all year round. Next, China. Walk through the gate of the Golden Sun. To experience wonders of China, a motion picture in Circle Vision 360. Purchase a handmade souvenir. View an exhibit of historic treasures. But beware of the dragon. Then, Mexico. A Mayan pyramid towers above World Showcase Promenade. A mariachi band sets the mood. Inside, eat at the restaurant or sail through Mexico's history on El Rio del Tiempo, the river of time. On to Canada, Indian carvings, French colonial architecture, the skirl of the pipes. All are symbolic of the nation's heritage. And stand by for a whirlwind tour of a spectacular land as you are surrounded by the Circle Vision 360 motion picture, Oh Canada. High Street, Upper and Lower Regency Streets, Tudor Lane, Britannia Square. This, of course, is the United Kingdom, a pleasant place to stroll, browse, shop. This could well be a bridge across the Seine, or even the English Channel, for on the other side lies France. At the end of this gracious boulevard is a theater showing the 5-screen motion picture Impression de France. Nearby stores sell everything from books to pastries to perfumes. The journey continues to Japan, serene, formal, with enduring traditions of design and craftsmanship. One of the pleasures here is to watch a master chef at work, or to see the fantasy dream maker sculpt candy into the elaborate shape of a bird, a heron, then give it away to someone in the crowd. In the evening, as dusk falls over Japan's Great Torii, a gate signifying good luck, as the sun sets behind the Eiffel Tower, Epcot Center takes on a magical, dreamlike beauty all its own. The lights come on, to be reflected in the shimmering surface of spaceship Earth. Epcot Center, Walt Disney promised, will never be completed. New attractions and additional countries will continue to be added. On the dedication plaque are these words: May Epcot Center entertain, inform, and inspire. And above all, may it instill a new sense of belief and pride in man's ability to shape a world that offers hope to people everywhere.